and welcome to another episode of Talk Around the Park. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a park called Kentucky Kingdom. That's in Louisville, Kentucky, guys. It's a park I have never been to. However, just like all of our Talk Around the Park series, we're going to have an expert with us. So tonight, I want everyone to welcome Connor to the show tonight. And Connor, why don't you let everybody know how you're connected to Kentucky Kingdom?
I've been going to Kentucky Kingdom since I was 5 years old or so. And it's been a piece of Louisville for the last 30 years. Even Six Flags and the push to reopen it from 2010 on, and then when it reopened in 2014.
Okay, cool. So you've been there through all of it. You've been there through the change of ownership. So you've seen the park as a Six Flags branded park, and then you've seen it as an independently run theme park. Okay, good. So you have a really good understanding of this park.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So let's just jump right into it then. Again, I've never been there. I am slated to go there for the first time later this season, assuming everything opens and we get back to normal by the end of September. That's when I was slated to go down there. Also, I do stay in contact with the park through their media center. So they're really awesome park just to communicate with. So I can't wait to go down there. But I have done my research for this show, and I have obviously, just like most enthusiasts, seen POVs of a lot of the rides and have known about this for a long time. So super excited to talk to you about this. We're going to jump into it. Our first question we're going to talk about tonight is, what audience is the park geared towards? And Connor, what do you think?
Mostly families and teenagers.
Okay.
Because obviously families, because we got King Louie's Playland, which is the kids section.
Mm-hmm.
And then we always have like family friendly style ride in our 5D cinema. This year they're switching it up. I believe this year is Yogi Bear, according to their website, along with another one. And then for teenagers, of course, you got, Storm Chaser, Lightning Run, Thunder Run, and all of them.
Cool. And that rings true to me as well, especially with their most recent coaster that they added, Kentucky Flyer. It is a family style Gravity Groups coaster. So it's will give really great thrills to the younger crowd, but still, even if you're a mom or your dad and you take your kid on there, you're still going to get a thrill out of it. You're still going to get some pops of air times from really good laterals.
Kentucky Flyer is actually good for all ages, not just like small kids, but like older people get on it and all them. It's a really fun ride.
For sure. And especially with its location, being in the Midwest, I can attest, not being to this park, but being to parks like Holiday World, and that isn't far from there.
Right.
The people, the staff, the locals are just genuine, down to earth, salt of the earth people. And I've always loved going to parks in the Midwest because of that. So that's going to kind of transition us into our next segment, which is the park's ride lineup. And I got to tell you, I know little outside of like the coaster lineup. And obviously they have coasters that'll fit anyone. If you want a kind of a classic wooden coaster, you go on Thunder Run. If you want to get that out of control RMC, well, you have it. You have, Storm Chaser. If you want to have something that's maybe not as tall, not as fast, but still has a lot of thrill to it. Then you guys have Lightning Run. And so you really do cover the ground well. You have a really great ride collection. I would say from the coaster standpoint, the only thing that I see that stands out is that you don't have a launch coaster. However, I know that the current owners of Kentucky Kingdom have said that they don't like launch coasters and not to expect one anytime soon. So that aside, you really do hit a lot of the different categories for coasters. What other kind of rides are there? What about the flat rides? What about the dark rides? What do you have at the park?
Older rides, we have Huss Breakdance, which is from
cool.
I believe it's like 1990 or 91.
Cool.
We got a Huss rock ship as well. Fearfall, which is our drop tower to take place of Superman at the time, or Elevator. We got the Zamperla Endeavor to replace our Enterprise. We got
you were one of the first ones too, right? Like, weren't you guys one of the first ones to get the Endeavor? I think you guys.
I believe we were the first one or two parks to get that.
Yeah, it was one of the early ones. I remember everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, look at Kentucky Kingdom! Like, that's the new Enterprise. Like, I want a Kentucky Kingdom," which was really cool.
And it's funny because it went up so fast too. It went up within like a week and a half, I think.
Wow. Totally the opposite of Six Flags St. Louis. Their Endeavor sat for 6 months, 7 months, just sat on property. There was pictures of it in October for a Fright Fest. When we went in March for the opening last year, the groundwork had, like, the ride wasn't even in its place. They were still ripping up rocks and foundation and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So it took them, I want to say 8-9 months. Guys, comment down below if you know exactly how long Supergirl took to construct. It took a while though. And I was always boggled by that because I was thinking it's a really small flat ride. Like, this should be taking that long to put in. But now I do have to ask a question.
All right.
Because when I look at your ride lineup, I notice a particular theme. A lot of your rides now, and this is post Six Flags. So Six Flags left. They took Chang with them. Sad face. And when the new owners took over the park, they started to name a lot of the rides storm themed. You have a ride called Eye of the Storm. You've got Lightning Run. You've got Thunder Run. You've got Storm Chaser. What is it? Is there any reason that we're going with storm theme stuff? What's the connection here?
It's funny, like, people ask that all the time. In this area, we got a saying, wait 5 minutes and see what happens, which is
okay.
And I think it's just because the weather is just so unpredictable around here. They just kind of went with it, because we have a, like, sort of like the Harley Quinn they're putting in Six Flags. We got one called Cyclos. So that's sort of storm themed, I guess, but it's mostly, I guess, just unpredictable weather.
Okay. I could see that. It's just weird. It's just interesting, because we were talking before we started recording this show about how when Six Flags was there, they had one ride, we think, comment below if we're wrong, because we might be wrong, but we think there was only one ride, Thunder Run, that was weather related. And then all of a sudden, when the new owners take over, everything gets not everything, but so many things get rebranded to storm theme.
One of the popular rides in the park sits back near Storm Chaser, which is Mile High Falls. And that's like, that comes from the 90s, and it's a popular water ride because it gets really hot and muggy around here in the summer.
So talk about the water rides. What kind of water rides does Kentucky Kingdom have?
Minus the bay, which we'll probably get to. We have Mile High Falls,
What
Raging
is
Rapids.
that? What is Maha Falls?
It it's similar to like a log ride or a log flume, but it's more of like I think Hershey's has one I know of where you get in a boat and you go up, you go around, and you come down and it makes a big splash.
Okay. Okay. I understand. So, um, this would be like a tidal wave at Six Flags St. Louis before it got removed, or this would be like Snake River Falls at Cedar Point. That's what he's talking about. Big shoot to shoot boat. Usually it holds 20, 30 people inside the boat and
Something
go
like
down
that.
big old splash. Yeah. Okay.
And
Do you guys have like a log flume too?
that's the closest one we have to a log flume. The park did have a log flume a long time ago, but it got taken out. I think
Okay.
right before it went to Six Flags.
Okay. Any
Or
other water rides that are there?
we have a Raging Rapids River ride,
Oh, cool.
which used to be called Penguin Blizzard River during Six Flags. And then we also have Deluge, which is our water coaster. Which
That's right.
the funny thing about Deluge is it really splits between if it's a water park ride or a theme park ride because it sits like right on the edge.
Okay. And I remember when Six Flags it was called something else, but it started with a D too, right? Didn't it used to also be called something else, Delirium or something like that?
No, it's always been Deluge
Okay.
as far as I'm
Maybe I think it's something else. But that I remember that being an early style of water coaster. That was
yeah.
before this new craze where every water park needs to get a water coaster. This was a while ago. This is when Six Flags owned it.
It was put in 07
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because they took out like 3 rides in there at the time and a snow cone stand, and it was interesting to see it just go up because it's like 1 minute was there, next minute it's open.
Yeah. And really cool that you guys had used the DC villain Penguin when Six Flags was there because we always see the Joker, we always see Batman. Now we're seeing we see Catwoman a little bit. Now we're starting to see Harley Quinn everywhere, and you don't see the Penguin very often. So that's really cool that you guys have. Is there any reminiscence of the Penguin ride? Is there any is there any theming or anything? Is there anything down there still?
In the station when it runs, the clock will run backwards sometimes.
Okay.
And then throughout the ride, you'll notice some of the penguin theming because they have penguins that squirt water at you. Then they got looks like a waterfall with like ice coming out of it with a penguin's head out the side. Then they got the penguin's umbrella that sprays water.
Okay, that's really cool. So guys, if you want to see some remnants of a rare penguin themed ride, go down to Kentucky Kingdom and look for those things because you're going to see the old penguin ride in those few relics that are left.
It's right next to T3.
Okay. Do they have any dark rides down there?
Closest one would probably be our 5D cinema.
Okay. So dark ride is something that would be cool to see down there. We'll get to that question here in just a second. But this flows just perfectly into our next segment as well, which is what are the best rides in the park? I haven't been there, so I'm just going to say I'm going to give the safe enthusiast answers and say from the POVs I've seen, I think that obviously Storm Chaser and Lightning Run are the top 2 in the park. I'm personally excited to ride both of those, especially Lightning Run. I just hear so many good things about that Chance GTX. So what would you say, though? What would you say the best rides in the park are?
Coaster rides, I would say Lightning and Storm, and the Flyer, because typically Lightning Run it always gets one of the longest lines in the park, even on a weekday. Flat ride wise, I would have to say Breakdance because it's stuck with its roots and it really hasn't gone too out of its way.
Yep.
they've had to redo some things on it. I'd also say Bluebeard's Bounty, which has their ship that's kept most of its original content. And I haven't been on it, but I've been told Fearfall is too, because it's not like at like Kings Island or something where you sit up there and wait. It just once you get up there, you just drop.
Okay. I like that. And it probably helps with capacity too, I think. You know, those seconds, those whatever 10, 15, 20 seconds that you're waiting up there, if you can cut that every ride cycle in the course of a day, in the course of a season, that's many, many, many more rides. I like rides like that. I like it when you just cut right to the chase, you know?
Especially Saturdays, because typically Saturdays are one of the worst days.
Okay. Now, does the park offer, you say that, does Kentucky Kingdom offer any kind of flash pass or fast lane or anything so you can skip the lines if you have, you know, the money to do that?
As of now, we do not.
Okay.
But it's probably possible down the road if they do.
Sure. Okay. That's all good to know. So, guys, make sure that you plan your visits. Make sure that you, now that you know that you cannot get a flash pass or anything, just make sure that you kind of work around that. Now, my question is this: even on a super busy day, think of it as the busiest day of the whole season. Can you, without a flash pass, still get through the park and ride all the rides?
It depends on what you want to ride, because especially like Lightning, Storm, and surprisingly even T3, they typically get one of the longest lines in the park. And even with two trains, you can still wait about 10 minutes or so, at least.
In between dispatches?
At times. It just depends on how the ride-ops are doing that day. Sometimes they get them through quickly. Sometimes it takes a bit.
So that's good tips. So if you're a thrill seeker and you're going there for the coasters, make sure to hit those rides first, knowing that they're going to get a big line. And then maybe go to some of the less popular attractions like Thunder Run and stuff like that, because those probably would have better luck. Yeah, I would imagine that your headliners, I would imagine that, like you said, T3 just because it's a big red thing sitting there.
Well, it's hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and also sometimes even Thunder can get crowded because it only runs one train.
Okay, I didn't know that. Really?
The way it was designed was like as soon as you come into the brake run, you almost hit the station. So.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, so that's really good tips. That's awesome tips. That's gonna really help me when I come down there later this season. I know exactly where I'm running to first. Know that. I know Lightning Run. That's more towards the front of the park, right?
Yes, it's right beside our ice cream parlor, which we'll get to, and the bathroom. It's right in front of Breakdance.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm probably going to run in, hit that, go right to Storm Chaser, which I'm sure a lot of people do. So that'll be my route when I go there for sure. So now that we've talked about the ride lineup and what the best rides are in the park, we're going to talk about what additions does the park need. I'm going to talk through this. I'm not going to talk about coasters right now because that's going to be the next question. But I'm going to give this just strictly on looking at the ride list, looking at what I saw, and from what I'm hearing from you. And the one thing that did pop out to me is Dark Ride. I would like to see like a Triotech Dark Ride. I would love to see that. Something where it has a little bit of a coaster section so that you guys can build it as a family coaster. Something that would complement Kentucky Flyer really well. That's not so extreme, but is a steel version, basically, of something like that. But that still has that Dark Ride show building,
Right.
and you can make it interactive with the with the shooter kind of perspective of it or whatever, like video game kind of thing.
Right.
So that's what I would say. Something like Guardian of what is it, Wonderland Mountain or Wonder Mountain. So that's something like that is what I would say. But what do you think? You're there on the ground. What do you think the park needs?
Coaster wise, I can honestly see him getting a RMC Raptor or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Just because, they don't take up a lot of room, and it'd be one of those where it would kind of fit the park nicely, just because, you don't get a lot of people through them. Because I think they only hold, 8 people at a time?
8. I think Jersey Devil, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe that Jersey Devil has 12. It's a longer train on Jersey Devil. I think it's 12. 10 or 12.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go more Six Flagsy, maybe something like an SNS free spin.
Yeah, and there's nothing like that in the area.
I think Six Flags St. Louis has one. I may be wrong, but
yeah, they don't have a 40 free spin. I would think the closest one, well, if you're going north, it'd be Great America. It'd be my home park.
Right.
So, but like, I'm thinking about what's in the area. You get people from what? Holiday World crowds can come there. Kings Island crowds can come there.
Yeah, because we get Holiday World, Kings Island, St. Louis, even Dollywood.
And none of those parks have anything. They don't have a 40 free spin, so they don't have anything like that. Dollywood has a wing coaster, so I guess the seating arrangement you could say is similar. But other than that, they're so far apart. They're so different that I don't think that's right. What about non-coaster? If we're going non-coaster, what would you say the park needs? What does it need more of?
They need more flat rides, to be honest. Because over the past few years, minus the Flyer and because in 2015 they did 8 flat rides, but they need more like flat ride style rides.
Okay.
Because we got a decent lineup of flat rides, but it just depends on where you go, because we have more coasters than anything right now. Because most of the flat rides are toward the front of the park.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Because on the back side, it's just mostly the water park, the Flyer, T3, Storm Chaser, Thunder Run, and Mile High Falls, and the
so it really is like, okay, here's your coasters, and then let's put just a couple of rides around it. But there's your coasters right there.
We used to have one of those fire truck rides where you kind of went up and go down, like what you see at your local state fair or something.
Oh, mm-hmm.
They took that out last year, I think it was.
Okay. So if you're hearing us, Kentucky Kingdom, we think that you need flat rides and a good dark ride. We need a good dark ride. So that's cool. So that's going to lead us into it. And I like this question in general, but I really like it about this park. And that is, what will be the next coaster installed? Now, the reason I say I like this is because recently, I believe it was February, maybe it was March, but I believe it was February. Kentucky Kingdom had their media day. And when they did, one of the owners of the park, his name is Ed, came out and basically just asked everyone, this is on camera, you can look this up on YouTube, but basically just flat out said, hey, we're going to be getting a new coaster eventually. Hint, hint, probably sooner than later. And he was like, what do you want to see? And he started throwing out stuff. What do you guys want to see? And I remember him saying, would you like to see a B&M coaster? What do you want to see? And so people were saying, okay, we want, whatever. They were just saying a bunch of stuff. I personally, for coasters, okay, so I think you need a B&M. Personally, I mean, gosh, every park needs one. But then you get into, like you said, well, what B&M do you put? Because if you talk about wing coasters, don't put a wing coaster at your park because you got two. You got one right at Holiday World, which is arguably the best wing coaster, and then you've got Dollywood with Wild Eagle. So I would not say that. Personally, what I would like to see is a B&M Hyper. I think you guys need that tall signature, something over 200 feet, but I don't think it needs to be out of control. You already have your out of control stuff with Lightning Run, and you already got your out of control RMC Storm Chaser. So I say make it more graceful. So if I had unlimited budget, unlimited money wasn't an option here, I would say B&M Hyper. But what do you think? What do you think the next coaster to be installed would be?
Now, I agree with the Hyper, but the biggest problem you have with that is the airport's just like right next to the park. So that's hard to do.
That's right.
Funny thing is, when they were adding Deepwater Dive, the park's tallest water slide, they had to shut down airway around there for like 2 hours just to add the last, I think, 2 sections of it.
Now, question, is that, maybe I'm thinking of a different park, but is that the ride? Didn't they just add just a couple of more feet to it to say we're still the tallest water slide, the body slide in the world? Like, wasn't it, didn't they just, maybe you guys know, comment down below, but Connor, wasn't it just the feet? They just did it. Like, I swear I just saw a picture of this.
They did have it on their Facebook page. Now, if they did or not, I could not tell you. It may have been an April Fool's joke. Because I've not been to the park recently, so I don't really know what has happened out there.
Mm-hmm.
So they may have. I don't know.
But for sure, I at least saw that, right? I'm not making that up. They did say that at least. It could be an April Fool. I didn't even think about that. And if it is an April Fool's, good job, Kentucky Kingdom, because you got me, and I'm talking about it on the 6th as if it's possibly true. So good job. I didn't think about the B&M Hyper being any Hyper, but B&M Hyper being a problem. I didn't think about that. That kind of messes up my prediction, because the other way, I mean, obviously, I would love to see a launch coaster there. They're just not going to do it. I'd love to see something like a Mack Power Splash there that gives you a really neat water ride, because it gets hot down there, and it's something that doesn't take up a big footprint, but something that's thrilling, but it's got the launch, so that you would never, I don't think you would get that ride right now. Oh, maybe one of the new SNS Access coasters. Wouldn't that be fun down there? That'd be really neat. It doesn't look like it's that much money.
Of a few things I've seen on YouTube, Kentucky Kingdom's actually come up quite a bit beyond a few Six Flags parks and a few Cedar Fair. Because we've typically put in prototype coasters before.
Well, okay, yeah.
Because
and you have a decent amount. You have a decent amount of coasters, and it's cool to see a private, family-owned park now still investing in rides like that, because you may see a family park put in a coaster once a decade, and I apologize, my dog is shaking his fur out, and so you just heard that. If you hear, what is that chiming sound, it's my dog, guys. We are recording this live. We are at home. We are social distancing. Anyways, back to what we were saying. So next coaster installed. I definitely think, I just want you guys have such a good collection of coasters. And, like I was saying, some family parks, they put in like a good coaster or a smaller coaster every 7 to 10 years. You guys are on a roll, though. I mean, it's every few years. It's like clockwork. And then he's asking again, hey, we're already planning what our next coaster is going to be. So what would you want?
Right.
And when he said B&M, that's when I was like, ooh, that would be so cool. Or now that I'm thinking about it, this is off the top of my head here. This is just thinking through this discussion. What do you think about one of those Vekoma like Let coasters?
That's possible, but I'm not sure how the park's relationship with Vekoma is, because I know they've not really worked with Vekoma in a long time.
Right, but I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, I think Let coaster was less than $10 million. I know it was less than $10 million. So you're putting that in the price range of about a Lightning Run. Lightning Run was, I believe, somewhere between 7 and 9 million. So it was less than 10 million too. So you're in that price range. But if you can have a smooth, modern looping coaster, because thinking through your lineup, okay, yes, Storm Chaser has an inversion. At least one, maybe two, maybe a couple, but at least one. Um, you have T3 that has inversions.
Yeah. The only looping coaster we had before Lightning Run went in was Grease Lightning, which was a Schwarzkopf launch one.
Right, and then you had Chang when Six Flags owned it.
Yeah.
So when Chang was removed and then Grease Lightning was removed, that brought you down to only 2 coasters in the park that have inversions in it, right?
Yeah, like heavy inversions, which is Storm and Lightning.
Yeah, because Thunder Run doesn't have it, Lightning Run doesn't have it, the Kiddie Coaster doesn't have it. So now that I think about it, you guys could use, T3, let's be honest, from what I hear, not the smoothest coaster around. So it would be super cool to see like a Vekoma, traditional with a lift hill, so, God forbid we had the launch coaster down there. But it's something like Let Coaster that's under $10 million, something that is really thrilling, but something that's smooth, modern, has inversions. Hey, we might be onto something with that.
And then it's funny because, like, especially with flat rides, you'll see areas at the park where you're like, oh, you can put a flat ride there. Because, for example, near Mile High Falls, and there's a bathroom right close to it, behind a fence, you'll see like a circle. You're like, okay, what was back there at one point? Because it looks something similar to like a break dance or something like that. It was there at one point.
So sounds like, let's work on some flat rides. Let's get a dark ride, and then let's get that standout. Let's get that something thrilling coaster in there. I think that would be really cool. Cool. Well, as much as we like talking about rides, as much as my Thrill Maxers and stuff just love talking about all the possibilities of coasters and all this stuff, there's more to that, more to a theme park than that. It's not all about rides, ladies and gentlemen. Some people do not go for rides. Some people go for other things. And so switching gears a little bit, but still talking about something relevant in the park, is the food that's in this park. And I have to say, before I hand it over to you, Connor, you have sent me. The reason I added this section for Kentucky Kingdom is because you send me pictures, okay, through Messenger, of all this delicious food all the time, and you're like, oh, when you come down here, you got to get this, you got to eat this, you got to eat this. And so I'm going to let you take it away, but tell everybody, what food options do we have? What do you think, if you come to Kentucky Kingdom, what can you not leave the park without eating? Take it away, Connor.
All right. As you come in the park, you'll see a food stand right there called Triple Treats. And we use velvet ice cream based out of Northern Ohio, which is actually really good as well. And then we have down the road our version of an Italian sit-down place called Casa Mia, and they serve burgers, pizza, chicken tenders, stuff like that.
Okay.
And the meat that we use in the park is locally grown beef, and it's organic, I think. So
Really?
I know it's local. I'm not sure about organic, but
Okay.
um, it's actually really good. It's not like the cheap burgers you may find at Six Flags or something. And then also at Annie B's, our funnel cake stand, we have a funnel cake sundae. They just added,
Oh,
which is a funnel cake with vanilla ice cream, whipped topping, a cherry, and sprinkles, and some strawberry glaze.
yes. Yes.
Um, and then down from there, right by Lightning Run's entrance, we have a hand scooped ice cream parlor where we
Nice.
have, I think it's 8 flavors of ice cream, and last year they added sundaes to it too.
Ooh.
Um, th- Past that, one of the things you have to have when you go is our very own handmade pretzels.
Okay. Wow. You guys make them. So you hand roll them, make the dough. You do everything in house.
Yes,
Wow. Okay.
we don't have Annie Ann's or any of those.
Mhm.
Now we have a company that brings us the dough, but other than that, everything else is handmade in house.
Wow. Okay. Cool. And so most of your food, it sounds like it's not. It sounds like traditional food, but with the added bonus of it's local, it's hand done
Right.
in the
Well,
park, and it just sounds like it's a higher quality of the
yeah.
same stuff you would get at most parks. That sounds great.
And then we have stuff like our pizza sauce, our I think our chili, even our something else is made just for the park.
Oh wow.
Um, and then at a place called Cactus Jack's, one of the things the park's actually known for is called Kingdom fries, which are fries covered in ranch, bacon bits, and something else, and cheese.
You had me sold. Yeah, when you said fries, I was in Kingdom Fries.
And
Now
then
we're talking, buddy. Now we're talking.
now, when it gets hot out, you'll want something cold. If you go across the bridge, we do handmade popsicles made in park.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
and then if you're near the water park, we have a craft beer garden as well.
Stop. Hello. And this keeps getting better and better. I've heard about this mythical thing called the beer garden. Um, is there some kind of a cup or something special you can get? Tell everyone about this. What is the special thing you can do for the season?
Um, you can buy souvenir beer mugs and get them refilled every time you go for
Okay.
for the same price as a small.
Wow. So instead of paying those ridiculous theme park prices at some theme parks, Six Flags, um, if you buy the souvenir cup and you come back, you get a discount on filling up, with beer, mind you. So, if that's your thing, if you don't like the rides, even if you do like the rides, if you don't like the rides, and you want the kiddos to go, and you got some teenage kids and you want them to go ride on the coasters, and your mom or dad, you just want to sit back, have a brew, you could do it at Kentucky Kingdom, and if you got their cup, they're going to give you the discount for refills. That's super awesome.
And also with the beer garden, we sell food as well for that. And I will have to say it's some of the best food you'll ever have because you'll get burgers and fries like in park, but it's brought right to you instead of you get it yourself.
Okay.
And then we also do fish and chips,
Ooh.
barbecue nachos,
Mm.
chicken wings. which are both deep fried and char grilled. And
You're making me happy. Everything you're saying making me happy. It's almost like you're not describing a theme park right now. It's almost like you're describing a restaurant.
and then I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
One that you have to talk about that I think of off the top of my head. Tacos and tequila?
Oh yeah.
Everybody talks about tacos and tequila. Everyone I run into is like, "Have you been to Kentucky? Have you eaten their tacos and tequila?" Explain what this is, what the phenomenon is with this taco and tequila place.
Taco tequila is we get our barbecue from a big site known for barbecue, and everything in it is actually handmade in park as well.
Oh.
So we do guacamole made in park. Like our sour cream base is made in park. And then we do chicken, which is roasted for 3 hours. And then on the alcohol side of it, we have a whole board full of different like mixed drinks you can get, along with 3 different beers on tap.
So basically, to sum this up, Kentucky Kingdom, go there for the rides, stay there for the food, and while you're at it, feel really good with a couple of drinks.
And then if you're an out-of-state member, I think a 1-day out-of-state is like either $29.99 or $39.99. I'm not sure, but you get free soft drinks for 2 days.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
And you get Pepsi products.
So you heard it first, guys. Kentucky Kingdom is taking care of you, and I want you to briefly touch on. This is still food. Run through. Okay, well, no, let's say that for the next section. I was gonna say I really want you to talk about the food for some of their special events. So first of all, talk about some of their special events, and then I really want you to talk about the food, especially during the haunt season, because my gosh, you were sending me so many good pictures, and it wasn't fair because here I am stuck in my house and I can't get to a theme park, let alone Kentucky Kingdom right now, and I can't eat this stuff. I swear I almost ate my phone because of you. Okay.
In July, in our old Batman stunt show, we have 3 concerts in, I think it's mid-July. Fast forward to Halloween, last year we just brought back Hollowscream, which is the Halloween event. And food-wise, hand scooped ice cream parlor, we had a pumpkin sundae.
Oh. A lot of people, have pumpkin pie, but have a pumpkin sundae.
It was like a pumpkin bread sundae.
Okay, I like this.
And then a pumpkin spice funnel cake. And then at Cactus Jack's they had tachos, killer clown tachos.
Those were the nachos you sent me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys, it looked like a work of art. Like, seriously, this plate of nachos, these zombie nachos, whatever they're called, there were so many different colors and layers, and then like they were drizzling sauces and stuff over them, and it looked like a Picasso painting. I mean, it looked so good. I'm definitely getting one. If I'm supposed to go the last weekend of September, so if everything's going on, the haunt, which it should be, I'm definitely getting one of those. I have my eyes set on that. I'm going to gain like 100 pounds, right? Because I'm going to eat everything you just said. Then I'm going to go eat all the haunt food. Okay. And that's it. That's a whole adventure.
I think that's supposed to start the next week. But, and then at the beer garden, we have a burger that is a full pound of beef with onion rings stacked on top of it.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
And
It's
then
almost like you knew I was going to come visit your park at some time, and you guys custom tailored a menu for me, and I appreciate that, Kentucky Kingdom. How thoughtful of you.
and then we have what they call the undead shred, which is our version of like a pulled brisket sandwich, and it's a full pound and beer cheese.
So I hear full pound. I'm hearing all these big quantities. This is really getting me excited. But tell me this: how are the prices generally?
They're not too bad for what you get. Like the undead shred, I think was like $10.99 or $13.99
For a 1 pound sandwich?
Yes.
Like, guys, even if that's, I was expecting you to tell me, oh, that was $21.99 for that.
No.
At a theme park. Oh my gosh. So Kentucky Kingdom, why does more people, Kentucky Kingdom needs to be bigger. People need to be talking about this more. This needs to be like the next big thing. Like, because you have solid coasters, then you're talking about solid events, and the food.
And
I
then
keep hearing quality.
And then at our food court, we have a shrimp po' boy with Cajun.
I love seafood. Yes, I can have seafood. Do you have a shrimp poor boy?
It was just for Halloween, and then we had 2 or 3 different types of alcoholic drinks for Halloween.
You guys are onto something there.
And then on top of that, you had 2 haunted houses.
Okay.
Which was in the picnic pavilion. You had Die Laughing, A Clown Funeral, and Zombie Wasteland.
You're making it really hard for me to say that I shouldn't come down there and film a Fright Max episode covering your haunt. Sounds super cool. That's awesome, man. Yeah, so guys, comment down below. Have you been to any of these events? Have you eaten some of this amazing food that we're hearing about? If so, what's your favorite event? What's your favorite food that you eat at those events? Or just all the time? If you go all the time, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite place?
Also, if you buy either a souvenir cup or you have a season pass, drinks are $1 even, not $1.06.
I like that. I like how they're like, come on, guys. Most people to pull out $1 and then 6 cents, or to break $2 and then give them 94 cents back or whatever. Stupid. Just make it $1. They already make so much off of the drinks anyways. Do you have a souvenir cup like Six Flags where you can pay for the whole season and you get free refills all season?
No, they just do 99 cents per.
Not bad.
But I think it's around like between 28 and 32 ounces. So,
okay. So, yeah, you can't. When I go to a gas station and I pick up a 20 ounce of Coke, it's like $1.69 or $1.70 or something like that. So, it's cheaper than that. You get more than that, guys. So, go ahead.
Also, for the coffee lovers out there, the Hand Scooped Ice Cream Parlor does sell Starbucks coffee in cups as well, or glass jars.
So if you are like me and get to the park and decide, maybe I need to try some of these delicious adult alcoholic beverages, and then you kind of get to that midday slump and you're like, oh, I'm tired. You have coffee. Go wake up. Okay, we got lots more to do, lots more food to go eat.
And then, of course, we got Dippin' Dots as well.
Okay. Thorough Maxers. I don't know if you saw the episode. If you haven't, go watch it. The Six Flags Great America talk around the park episode. Go watch it if you haven't. We talk about the Dippin' Dots guy. So look at this. He's expanding his influence, guys. The Dippin' Dots guy. He's everywhere. He's like the all-seeing, magical, Wizard of Oz, man. He's great.
And then Halloween, we had 2 or 3 new flavors. We had pumpkin spice, and a couple other ones.
I like that. I'm a pumpkin guy, so I really do like that. My girlfriend also likes pumpkin pies and stuff like that. So that's awesome.
And then for all the dance lovers out there, in the middle, where by the food court and the entrance to the water park, they had like a dance floor. I forgot what it's called, but they would play music and you can dance and stuff with some of the ghouls and such.
They did that. Okay. So they've thought this through on every level. Go ride some rides, go eat some food, go have some drinks, and then go get your dance on. Okay? Now that you're having a real good time, let's go get our dance on. Smart Kentucky Kingdom. I really, really like that. And so why don't we just wrap things up with our overall thoughts of the park? I'll just say first, I'll kick this off and then let you end it.
All right.
Just with talking to you, especially through this conversation, I appreciate Kentucky even more. Not that I didn't appreciate it before, but I looked at it as okay. It's a small park, and it offers it has a lot for the size of it, and for the thrill rides, I want to go down there. And love the direction they're going in. But I never knew all the little nuances, especially when it comes to the quality of things, the quality of the food, the quality of the staff, the quality of the rides. And so that's my biggest takeaway from this discussion. And so my overall thought is I can't wait to come down and take my first time and really enjoy the park, and taste all the foods and do all of that. And I'm going to have a full review when I do that, guys, later in the season. And you will probably see Connor again in that episode. And so I just definitely just appreciate the park a whole lot more, and I just can't wait to get down. What are your overall thoughts of the park growing up with it and everything?
I've seen it through all its ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to see someone who truly cares about the park, similar to Dolly Parton with Dollywood or the Cook family with Holiday World, to put all their time and effort into the park instead of like Six Flags or Cedar Fair that has 12, 13 parks throughout the country. And I like how they focus on the little things as well. Like, for example, I don't know what like Six Flags or Cedar Fair policies are in this, but like they do not tolerate smoking outside of the smoking areas.
Mm-hmm.
And so over the intercom, they'll say throughout the day, please smoke in the smoking areas, even including e-cigarettes and vape as well.
Okay.
Also, they do not tolerate videotaping on rides either. I have seen them where they've closed rides down and kicked people off because they were videotaping, and it's one of the things that makes them unique because they will do stuff for the park that you typically may not see at other parks as well. Now, the other good thing too is parking is a lot cheaper as well. Parking's $10 to park there compared to like 20 or more at most other parks.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely, guys, if you're in the Louisville area, even if you're just passing through, make sure to stop at Kentucky Kingdom. First of all, if you're an enthusiast or you just like theme parks in general, these family-owned, private little theme parks that aren't backed by some huge corporation, they need us to go and visit. They need the attendance. If you guys want to see this park grow, if you want to see this park develop into maybe an elite park one day, you never know. It requires you guys to get to this park to experience everything, grab a bite to eat. You heard anything you want to eat, it sounds like it's there. And I just want to say to Kentucky Kingdom, if you see this, if anyone comes across this video from Kentucky Kingdom, thank you for everything that you do for the community, and thank you for not taking the shortcuts. You could order those cheap, thin burger patties that are mass produced and come from God knows where, and you could take those and you can sell them for $17.99 with French fries, just like some other parks do. And you don't do that.
Which I've had at Six Flags before, and it was terrible.
Yeah, but you don't do that. You go the harder route, and you don't do it because maybe it's financially the best decision for you, because you could probably find a much inferior product for much cheaper. But the fact that you say we want to go for quality, we're still going to make a profit, but we're going to go for quality, not because we want to get rich off of this, but because it's the right thing to do for the park. And if we do the right thing for the park, then people are going to come to the park. Right. And so I love that. So thank you, Kentucky Kingdom. Thank you.
Like, our biggest sit-down restaurant in the park is called Swamp Water Jack's. And they carry stuff in there that you may not see in the rest of the park as well.
Okay.
Such as barbecue pork fries or something like that.
So really, if you're walking, keep your eyes out for different food stands and just check it out. And the cool thing, I know when I go to a park, and I do this with merchandise and with food and anything I can buy, I usually do a lap around the park, and I will just check everything out first and then kind of plan like, ooh, okay, I want to go back and eat this, and I want to go back. Okay, yeah, no, I definitely want to make sure I go here. Like, for instance, when Dollywood, every time I go to Dollywood for the rest of my life, I'm going to eat at Aunt Granny's at Dollywood, because it's a no-brainer. I'm going to plan my day to eat around Aunt Granny's. Same thing with Kentucky Kingdom. I want to walk around. I want to find those places and plan my day accordingly.
And then the other cool thing, too, is we got food as well for the vegans. We carry salads. We also have the Impossible Burger as well.
Oh, good. So whatever your dietary restrictions are, there's options for you, which is really cool. Well, good. Well, guys, that's going to kind of wrap up this episode of Talk Around the Park. And again, this was our Kentucky Kingdom episode, and we really want to thank you, Connor, for being on the show tonight. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to experiencing the park and hearing more from you later on. And comment down below if you guys want a part 2 of Kentucky Kingdom. If there's any questions that we didn't answer, if there's anything that you agree with, disagree with, comment all of that down below, guys. And this is going to do it for Talk Around the Park. Remember, guys, always take your thrills to the max, because this is Thrill Max.